Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now in tune to the greatest podcast you've ever listened to, unless you're YouTube user Nigel Lee 9541. Welcome to the club. It's the 8-Bit Clubhouse podcast, episode Cinco, recorded Monday, March 24th, 2025. Introducing your host. First, he's the one wheeling, lady stealing, high flying, death defying, garage wall painting, capybara shooting. Woo! Your favorite gamer's favorite gamer, Hambone Johnny. And next up, you've never seen him on The Tonight Show. You've never heard him on the evening at the Improv. You probably haven't seen him at Showtime at the Apollo, but he's still the coolest kid on the playground. It's your boy, Bob Cousy. And last but most, the king of the Koopas, the keeper of the cores. He likes the chronic. What cools of Xenoblade? He likes the chronic. What cools of Xenoblade? He's the man, the myth, the legend, Drew. Guys, what's happening?
Fantastic.
Amazing,
What a fantastic
as always.
day.
You know,
Indeed.
I was yawning before, I was tired, and then I hear that intro, Coos, and I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Let's get it, Hambone.
Let's get at it, man. Hell
It's
yeah.
fun
Never-
times.
Never disappoint, Coos. Never disappoint. You know, we're in that weird time frame of March. It's like there's nothing good. You did a nice little day. It kind of teases you. Then it's just shitty out again. And today it just rained like steady. I don't know about you, Hambo. Just
All
like
day.
a downpour all day. Just didn't let up. But yeah, I'm ready for some spring. I'm ready for some golf. I'm ready for the three of us to get together soon on something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just ready. I'm ready for outside weather. You know?
Yeah.
Me too. I wore
Yeah.
a vest to work today. Like a
Wow.
Okay.
like a zippery
Cool.
like vest. And I
Okay.
don't know. I was like, is it vest weather? Is it not? It's kind of like cold in the morning, but then we had the rain. Now my sleeves are wet, and I'm sitting at the desk, and I'm like, if I had a regular jacket, at least I could have just, isolated the wetness to the jacket. But for an hour there, I'm sitting there with like soaky arms. So I don't know. What do you guys think about
Wait,
vests?
did you take the vest off once you got to work?
Yeah, I did, but my sleeves are still my sleeves.
So I'm not a vest guy. I didn't think you were a vest guy. I don't really get them either myself because of that exact point. Or if it's cold, then your arms are cold.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of flexibility. If
I think
you're
it's
not
it's
constrained.
style. I can't wait to see what Coos has to say about vests.
I think Coos has like many vests.
No, I think he's a no vester.
I'm a vester. You know what?
Wow.
I was not a vester, but Doug Bowser loves vests. And he would send out multiple vests to employees, Nintendo branded vests. So I ended up just trying them on and liking them because I had no choice. I got Nintendo ones for free and I tried them on. I was like, you know what? I look damn good in a vest, just like Doug Bowser. So I've come to like the vest. I've got a cut now. I went out to Lululemon and got one.
Yeah,
Nice.
nice.
I got a
Fancy.
cheap one off of Amazon. It was a green one with a hood, a vest with a hood, the hooded vest.
I kind of
Hambone.
like that.
I like it.
But it was too puffy, so I looked like a turtle. It just was green. It was like the color of your hoodie there. It was like green but poofy, so it was like
Poofy
I had
green.
a shell on. Yeah,
And they took
a
all the
puffy
extra
green.
fabric from the sleeves and put it to the hood.
1,000%. So
Yeah,
actually,
like-
I just put that in the giveaway box today. Actually, I just took that out of my closet and I was like, I'm never gonna wear that again. So, but yeah, I love a good vest. It's not about keeping the sleeves warm. It's about the core keeper, keeping the core warm.
yeah,
because
that's
if
true.
the core is warm.
You got to keep the core. Come on, Drew.
That's right.
You guys invest in the vest. I get it, but
Yeah.
I will not be
Best
invested.
friends.
It's not
Best
it's not an
friends.
everyday occurrence. It's just like, hey, it's spring.
It's
It's not quite
feel like
winter. It's not quite full on
just
spring.
like-
We're like in that weird middle zone.
I feel like the
Right.
act of putting on a vest just feels weird. Like you put your arm through, but you're like, there's no sleeve. It's just so awkward.
It's crazy. It's
No,
like a
awkward.
vest.
It's-
Yeah, it is. You know what wearing a vest is like? It's when you go to the doctor and he's like, you can leave your shirt on, but take off your pants so I can make you cough. It's like you're half dressed.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a good analogy there. Coos, perfect. Nailed
Oh,
that one.
Probably not.
Oh,
I
yeah.
went
boy.
yesterday to a actually it was nice weather here today. It was like 70 degrees, but kind of windy. But I went to a home and garden show yesterday. There was the kids entrepreneur section, and my daughter sews, and she makes like shopping bags, and she went there and sold some bags.
Wow.
And so I went there and got some. I got some wing sauce, some habanero wing sauce. Some guy was selling. I almost bought a hot tub, guys, and my
Sounds
wife and
amazing.
I,
Yeah.
we got a good deal on one, and we sat down and we talked about it, and I was like, I don't think we should spend that money right before we go on a big trip. So I kind of talked her out of it.
Wow.
But I think a hot tub's in the future. But it's one of those shows where they're like, do you need new siding? Do you need solar? Would you like a hot tub? Is one of those shows, and also some
Yeah.
wing sauce.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun though. We had a good time. The kids sold some bags, and it was a good time to get out of the house as a family and make a little money.
Nice.
Nothing like a hot tub. I mean, especially being in Colorado, the nice cold winter, you sit outside at the hot tub.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I love the idea of that. It sounds
me too.
awesome.
I'm the same thing. I can't invest in a hot tub just because it idea sounds great. I mean, I have a
Yeah.
heated pool, which is a whole nother. It's like a hot tub when I put the heater on. So,
Right. Yeah.
but the hot tub would be nice.
I know.
It's like one of those things over time. Do you think you continuously use it or would it fade away?
I don't know. I used to work
I
for
don't
a
know.
junk removal company, and we removed a lot of hot tubs. People get tired of them, man.
Every time the words come out of your mouth, I used to work for, I'm just ready for anything. Like I feel like you've said that a lot to us. And it's every time it's something
It's
I've
a
never
jack
heard
of all
of.
trades right there.
Right. You know what I did though? Yesterday I was sitting there. My kid was selling bags. She was selling them for like $20 a pop,
Wow.
making a
That's
little
great.
money, right? And I
Side
was sitting here
hustle.
like, my first job, I worked at Wendy's Hamburgers. I made $5.15 an hour in 1997, and I mean, I worked 8 hours for $40, man. I was like, how? I just did the math and I got mad. I'm like, I need to sue the ghost of Dave Thomas.
Well, remember
Why was he?
taxes too.
That's
You took
crazy.
home like $24.
But how many
Exactly.
free Frosties did you like?
Oh,
Oh
steal from
man,
that
I ate
job,
all.
you know?
I got all the free food, all the burgers, the quadruple stacks, and all that. But is that what I was just working for French fries? I guess.
I
But
guess,
I got
yeah.
mad, man. I'm like, how did I not do the math back then? I
yeah.
just took the job and I was like, yes,
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
it's
Crazy.
awful. Yeah.
crazy.
When I even used to caddy, I would caddy, you get there like young kid, 5:30 in the morning, and you're there for 5 or 6 hours, and they give you like $20 to carry your golf bag to listen to some prick asshole for like I look back at it, I'm like $20, rented me like, probably 5 video games for like the month, do one a week or whatever, but it wasn't a lot of money for that
Yeah.
manual
Well, back
labor.
then, $20 was
You're
could
right.
get you more than today, at least. So
That's fair. That's
That
fair.
is true. That's true. Plus, you got to hang out on the golf course. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
I
nice.
did.
As
I
long
got
as you
free
didn't have to
golf.
like caddy for Rex.
you
I
probably
wish
ran
I
into a
did,
few
actually.
Rexes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, now
what a guy.
the guy I used to caddy for is now my dentist. So connections go a long way.
Incredible.
Incredible. Incredible.
Incredible. Full circle.
Drew, I want go ahead, Hambo. You can say something. No, you said full circle.
Full circle.
Okay.
Go for it.
Gotcha. Drew, I would like for you to tell me about the contest that you came up with.
Well,
I'm all for it. I just don't understand it. So I'd like for you to explain it to me.
to your defense, it started off complicated and it's now very simple. We've been doing a few episodes now. We're expanded. We're starting to find our groove. I love contests. As you know, we love giving stuff away to people. So this is a simple one, super simple. We are going to start a subscriber contest for Twitch. It's simple. If you've already
That easy.
subscribed to Twitch, you're in. You don't have to
You're
do
already in.
anything. You're in the competition. You're in. If you have not subscribed to Twitch, what are you waiting for? We are live every Monday, roughly, doing this episode or just playing games. So Monday nights we're always live, and then sometimes we sprinkle in some other fun stuff along the way. But the contest is simple. Go to Twitch, search 8bit_clubhouse. You'll find us. Subscribe to us. And if you do it between now and April 20th, 420 day,
420. 420
420,
day.
you'll be entered
Or
into
Easter.
win, or Easter. Well,
Right.
There's could be a lot of stuff happening that day. Let's be honest.
That's right. Yeah.
If you do that,
April
you'll
20th.
be entered to win a $25 gift card of your choice to, Nintendo eShop, PlayStation Store, Xbox. I don't really know what those guys are called. I gotta be honest. Help me out, but
Yeah,
you get
got
what
it.
I'm saying.
PlayStation Store, Steam. You tell us, and
Steam,
we'll make it
yeah,
happen. We can make it happen.
We'll make
for
it happen.
You, yeah. So we're just trying to push followers, right? That's really at the end of the day, trying to make a stamp on the space for us. And yeah, we'd appreciate your follow, and we'll kick back to the community. So that sounds stupendous.
That's right. Hopefully, this will be the first of many giveaways that we can do, and who knows? Maybe we'll introduce a little monthly type contest or game and challenge. We'll have to come to that. Maybe Switch 2 will make it easier for us and do some type of achievement or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll figure that out. But speaking of Switch 2,
it will make it easier for us.
It will. Next week is the big exciting news on, what is it, Tuesday, April 2nd? Wednesday? Tuesday.
Good grief. Is it already next week?
It is Wednesday, April 2nd.
Oh my goodness gracious.
The big Switch 2 Direct. Cruz is going to be on a lovely, he will not be available. He will be away. But Hambone and I will be making a special episode next week. I'm sure Cruz will give us some input. But we will be doing that next week. So be on a lookout for a little special episode talking about and breaking down everything that we saw and what we like and what we're excited for. So that will be coming out probably that day, right, Hambone? That will be coming out on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday we'll be there and see how quick we can turn around the recording, right? So yeah.
I think that's all I really have. Anything else you guys want to add?
I don't think so.
No, I'm hyped for it. I'm ready to go. I'm super excited to see what they're gonna announce, what games are gonna be out there, or the timing. What is that mysterious C button? The mysteries will be.
It's a great time whenever we get new consoles. The hype's always there, right? It's exciting for everybody, even if you're not a big Nintendo fan. When they release a new Xbox, I get excited to see what it is. So it's just fun being a video game fan. It's fun to see new stuff.
I do like new stuff, just not a vest.
No vests.
No
vest free zone.
I don't own one. I don't own. Next time I go to Goodwill, I'm gonna stop by at Goodwill and buy a vest.
I'll send you a vest, Drew.
That's okay. Don't send me a turtle vest that nobody wants. I don't want that.
I did see something. Goodwill. Somebody was like rummaging through the Goodwill stuff. I saw it on the socials, and they came out of there with hand, foot, and mouth disease. The Coxsackie.
No.
Yeah. So
that's not where I thought you were going with that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, surprise. Hand, foot, and mouth. So yeah, just be careful. Tread carefully. Tread lightly.
Surprise. Hand, foot, and mouth. You know what's fun about Hambone is he's so fun. And then just every now and then he'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, did you see the story about the guy who was locked in his attic for 35 years? Oh yeah, surprise, hand, foot, and mouth. I love it. Hambone will throw the curveball when you least expect it.
I keep you on your toes. You never know.
That's right, buddy. That's right.
All
right. Well, hey, now I've got sounds. It worked, Drew. I wonder if people can hear that.
I don't know.
That was probably
Find out.
loud. We're going to talk about what we've been playing. That was my sound to switch to the next episode. Not episode. You know what I mean. To the next series here. I'm going to go ahead and talk about what I've been playing. Still on Coffee Golf. I don't know if you saw, but I posted a perfect round. I don't mean to brag,
Never
but
thought
it
it
took
was
me about
possible.
took me
I didn't
Incredible.
about
either.
25 tries. I kept
Incredible.
retrying and watching the ads. So,
Don't
but I
kid
got
us.
it.
You
I
bought the
posted the
pass.
video of all 5 hole-in-ones in a row, so that was fun. And
That was
um,
incredible.
so,
I
but
will
now
say
there's
that
no need to play it.
that last shot, the dunk for that last hole.
I said, what is he
I
doing? He's
was
going to ruin his round.
incredible. How many times?
Yeah.
So, question for you: how many times did you play it out of like the 25 tries? Did you get the 4 hole in ones, and you said, "All right, I got to go for the dunk now because I can't run it up like that."
You know,
How many missed dunks were there?
not many actually.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
Doesn't miss.
when I played that hole, I was like, how am I going to get that last one? I've got to dunk it. So I tried it once and I made it. And then I'm like, all right, well, that's going to be the shot. And then a couple times I did miss the dunk, but it was actually easier than you
No,
would
no, it's not
expect.
easier. No, it's not. You just make it easy. Here's my problem with coffee golf. If I was playing like a Mario RP, I mean not a Mario, a golf RPG type game, I would put all my points into accuracy because I feel like sometimes wherever the line's aiming, like you might just be a little split, a little tiny bit off
Oh,
because the
dude. Yeah.
accuracy's not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
will say if you have a vest on, you have a little bit more agility with your arms. You're not so
It
puffed
keeps you
out.
locked. It
It
keeps you
keeps you
locked
locked
in.
in there. If you have a
It's that-
jacket on, you're kind of winging it a little bit. So
Yeah.
I think I need to invest in one for golf this year. Like maybe that's my next
the
style.
perfect place to wear a vest.
Yes, it is.
Tee
Invest in
off.
the vest.
Invest in the
Invest in the
vest,
vest.
Drew. Come on, join the Vest Crusaders. Sorry,
All
Chris,
right.
go ahead.
I also finished what was the game I was playing? I forgot about it. Mainframes. There we go. I finished that finally. I beat the stage that I was trying to beat. Beer Cerveza. If you're listening, you watched me play it there on the stream for about 45 minutes. I couldn't beat the one stage. I finally beat it, and I ended up finishing the game. Fantastic game, man. I love that game. Rolled credits
Wow.
on that. I recommend it. I've also been kind of plugging away through Golf Story again. I
Oh,
played that when it
fantastic.
came out back in the day, and now I'm about halfway through it again. So that's fun. That game's fantastic as well.
Is it still just as good?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I recommend going back and playing it, but I don't play a lot of games multiple times, but it's a slow time. It's a good Switch Lite game too. I've been playing the Switch Lite, so it's good on Switch Lite.
Nice.
And then Subside is the game I've been playing on PlayStation VR. I got a
Ooh.
couple weeks ago. My wife sent me to a hotel to spend the night by myself just to get a break from all the crazy women in
God-
my house. And I took
God
my
bless your
PlayStation
wife.
and plugged in the VR. Oh, she got her night too. She went to a swanky place downtown. I got some rinky-dink place up in the Loveland. Um, But I
You
took
wear
the
vests?
VR. I took the VR because VR, if you've got kids, you've got VR on, and somebody hollers and somebody's fighting, a dog's barking, it takes you out of the zone, right? But when you're in a hotel by yourself and strap on the VR, it's a funny story. As I was doing that, the maid tried coming in the room like 3 times because I had late checkout at 4 o'clock. It was like 2 o'clock, and she was trying to get in to clean. And I had the mask on, freaking out, thinking somebody was breaking into
Trying
the
to
hotel
swim
room.
over to the door. Hey, I'm in here.
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. But yeah, thanks, cleaning lady, for taking me out of my zone. Anyways, Subside is a diving game in virtual reality. I think it was on Steam before. Now it's finally on PlayStation VR 2. It's been there a couple weeks. Graphics are gorgeous. Gameplay's the movement, the controls, fantastic. You can swim with your arms or just move with sticks. Gives you the option. You have a certain amount of breathing time, but you can unlock more breathing. And it starts you out. You walk into like this room that's all white, and you click dive or whatever, and the room like virtually fills up with water. It's like a computer simulation.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
So it's really cool how they do that. And it starts out really shallow, like it's only a couple, like 5 feet deep, really. and then I'm on stage 2. I beat stage 2, and it got down probably a good 15, 20 feet. You can see a couple sharks, and yeah,
May I
it's
ask
really cool.
how you beat a stage in diving?
Yeah, it gave you like objectives, like
Okay.
find these keys and unlock a case and collect
Okay, that's
so
kind of
many
cool.
things, and yeah, see so many fish. And then there's percentage points on how much of the stage you finished. Like I think in the first stage I'm only like at 63%, even though I finished it.
But you can
So I
move
can
on. I
go
know what you're
back and
saying.
explore more, and oh, there's a fish I haven't seen, or I can collect more things. There's little, seashells and stuff that you can find. So
When you
it's super
um when you
chill, man.
when you posted the short video in Discord, which any of you listeners out there are happy to join our Discord. Um, I just for whatever reason thought it was like Endless Ocean, like you jumped back into it. I
the it's way better than Endless Ocean as far as graphic wise and controls. Endless Ocean, you're just steadily. I love Endless Ocean, but
I know you
it's
do.
it's kind of it doesn't it's not a very exciting game. This game, you feel like you're underwater, and if you're under there too long, you hear thump 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 thump. Your
Oh
heartbeat
boy.
starts thumping. You gotta get air, right? So yeah, it's way better than Endless Ocean, but probably not as long. Endless Ocean has way more critters, has a whole lot of wildlife in Endless Ocean. So far in the diving game, there's been some wildlife, but not like Endless Ocean.
Hmm,
It's everywhere.
probably more realistic.
Oh, definitely more realistic. Yep. Man, that's it. I like this because this podcast has been making me play more games, so I have something to talk about with you guys,
Good.
and it's also allowed me to be able to play co-op with Hambone Johnny and Split Fiction. We're still plugging our way through that. We just finished a dragon stage, and
Awesome stage.
yeah,
Love that stage.
yeah. It was so fun. That game. I mean, it's awesome. It's great. So I'll pass it on to Hambone if you want to talk more about that because I know you got a little further than I did.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So if you guys remember last time, I'm playing Split Fiction, not only with the Bob Cousy, but also my son. So one version or one playthrough, I'm playing as the Zoe, the green character, and then with Owen, my son, I played as the other character. So I've been able to get to see both sides of the game, which has been really cool. Um, we're like 75% of the way there, Coos, I'd say, from what we're doing.
Nice.
But with Owen, we beat it. We rolled credits.
So
Um,
cool.
it was awesome. He did such a great job. Super proud of him. We did all the side content there was. We did all the side stories.
Wow.
We went back. We got all the trophies. Some of them are really tricky. Um, there's one of the side stories is like a futuristic bomb mini game where you have to pass this bomb back and forth over like an obstacle course. And there's 5 different stages, and you can't let the bomb blow up at any point in time during the 5 stages. And he was able to do it. It took us a few tries, but we got it. We strategized. He says, "Yeah, I got a good strat now, Dad." So he was super pumped about that. We did it. We did the captcha on the motorbike scene, so that was awesome. But yeah, man, great game. Probably my favorite game so far this year. I love Hazelight, all their games. He's interested in playing It Takes Two. We've downloaded it. We haven't really started it yet. I've got to
Mm.
figure out how I navigate the whole concept of divorce and
Oh,
whatnot with an 8-year-old. But I think if we
I'd be
can
more
get
concerned
through
about the
that,
elephant.
well, one of the trophies, which is pretty funny, like spoiler alert, but one of the trophies in Split Fiction is there's the elephant shows up as like a mascot on one of the stores, and you have to pop the trophy, you have to rip off his leg and his ear.
Wow.
So I was laughing at that, and Owen's like, "What is going on?" It's just you ripped his
Yeah.
ear off, and I'm like, "Oh, you'll get that when we play It Takes Two."
Sheesh.
So yeah, man, great game. Really really fun. If you've got somebody to play it with, do it. It's definitely worth the $50. But I'm sure it'll be on sale later this year. So that's Split Fiction. Once we wrap that up, Owen was looking over my shoulder. I was on my PC, and a game that the 3 of us played, plus one random dude at PAX East last year, if you remember.
I
Extremely
remember.
powerful capybaras, right? So this is the what they call them, like garlic lights, likes. So it's like the Vampire Survivors type game.
Is that what they call those? The
I don't know.
garlic likes?
I've heard that referenced a few times. I think the guys on GameScoop
Wow.
call it like that, or some other podcast. But I like it. I think it's a cool a cool moniker for those. So
I do too. I like
yeah, I
that.
think it's fun. So yeah, you're a capybara, one of 4 capybaras you have unlocked at the beginning of the game. One has a spear, another one's like a ninja, another one's like a shaman that throws out, I don't know, like a power wave. And there was some other one that had
Hmm.
shot like diagonal blasts going out from its side. And it's the traditional walk around, stay alive, avoid the enemies, and it's co-op, which is super cool. So I think that's what he really likes about it, is that we can play together. He likes the ninja, and he's telling me to play all the other characters so we can unlock better things. So, so Owen's the ninja, and I'm whatever else he decides. For the
Everybody
time.
else.
Yeah. So they're 15-minute runs. It's not super long, right? It's just survive, get some power ups. What I do like about this game compared to Vampire Survivors is you have a dash button. So if you're in trouble, there's a lot of enemies
Oh,
coming
nice.
around you to swarm. You can kind of dash out of the way, and it's not an infinite dash. So you get one maybe every like 5 seconds or something. So if you can use it strategically, great. It's not amazing, but it's fun. It was $4, so I think we've already gotten $4
Really?
worth.
That's not
When
bad
do
for
you
$4.
when do you introduce Owen to Ages of Mages?
You don't.
You do. I think it's time. I think it's a great co-op.
Once you send me a picture of you in a vest, then I'll buy Ages of Mages, or I'll re-download Mages of Mages, and I'll take a video of us playing. So
Can't
I'll
wait.
make that deal with you.
Can't wait. I hope he says he loves it and you have to keep playing it.
Yeah, he's like,
Ugh.
which one's the best mage? Is it the green one? Because I'll
The
tell
green
him.
one, I think you could summon like the golem and like,
Got him.
yeah,
You have to.
I like
You
the
have to
green
get the
one.
golem. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
That's it.
Got it.
Capybaras, is
that's
that on
Capybaras.
Switch?
I think it's just on Steam. I think. So
You know, it's funny because not one game that was Patsy's that promised us it was coming to the Switch has yet to make it to the Switch.
Except for Kamikaze
Nazi
Last Planes, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, that,
The what was the other one I played at PAX's? The hockey one. Gosh, why am I blanking?
oh, that game was fantastic.
It was good. I beat it. I played it on Steam last year. I'm blanking
I
on
know
the
you
name.
did.
It's not Slapshot.
I'm jealous.
Something.
Tape to tape?
Tape to tape. Thanks, Goose.
Tape to
Yep.
tape.
Yeah. So
Big Boy Botson was another one I was waiting for.
That one's been around a while. Like it's been
yeah,
promoted for a long time.
that one's been around a while. I'll have to scope it out. I'm going to PAX in a month, 5 weeks from
You
now.
go
so
call you. I want you to go to all those people and call them
be
out.
like, yeah, where's
Say, what the
where's
F?
Switch? Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna say Switch 2.
Yeah.
Well, by then that'll be okay because we'll know the date. We'll say, great, is it released?
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So what else do I've got going on over here? So in my ventures into Steam, I bought Hades again for the 4th time overall. I have it on all the platforms. One of my favorite games of the last 10 years for sure. Original Hades, not the sequel, although I bought that too recently, but I haven't touched it yet. But I bought the original Hades again, playing it through again. I've beaten Hades 3 times so far. I've done maybe 15 runs or so. I've got all the weapons unlocked. Man, what a game! I absolutely love Hades. Obviously, I bought it so many times. But yeah, it's just I don't know. Do you guys have like a desert island game? Like if you're stuck on a desert island and you can play one game for the rest of your life, like for sure that's Hades for me. I just never get sick of it. It's an amazing game. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's
super
super fun. And then the last game I'll mention here is Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. So I'm playing this on the PS5 Pro. Came out last fall. It was like a $10 upgrade because I already had the game. Man, the visual overhaul on this, I thought the original game looked really great. But then jumping into the remaster, man, night and day. It looks so good. I think it's on the same engine as the Forbidden West game. So like the facial animations look a lot better. The clarity of everything, the foliage is awesome. Awesome shadows. Aloy's hair, she's running and it kind of like moves in the back. Yeah, so visually it looks awesome, and the gameplay is just fun as ever. I think I like the story better in Zero Dawn, the first game of the series. But you've got your bow and your like tripwires and your blast slings, and you've got the different elemental effects you can use to take down the different robot dinosaur animal things. And it's a really cool story too, like I said. So you're trying to figure out like Aloy's been an outcast. She doesn't know who her mother is. She's been isolated for the last 18 years, and a number of things happen in the story where now your world is sort of turned over, and now you're in this big vast world that you never have seen before. But she's a badass. She's going around solving people's problems, being sassy, shooting people in the head with a bow and arrow, smacking people with a I don't know, a spear. It's great, man. Can't say enough good things about Horizon Zero Dawn.
Robot
It's super fun.
dinosaurs too.
Robo dinosaurs. So
Those are my favorite Transformers when I was a kid were the dinosaurs.
those are good ones. I like those a lot.
Completely off topic there.
That's
Well, not
okay.
completely, but a little bit. Did you play the Lego one? Do you
I
do the
did.
Lego games?
I did.
Did
Yeah,
you?
I played
How
Horizon.
was it?
Okay.
Okay, thank you
Eh,
for making my decision.
Yeah, I mean, if you can catch it on sale, it was not to say it wasn't fun. It wasn't anything overly special. I think the best thing about that game is that it packaged the story from Zero Dawn in a really unique, kid-friendly way.
Okay.
So I'd say if you've got like a preteen or a younger kid who's you think might be interested in that story but isn't yet ready for those more teen level concepts or themes, um, but might soon be interested in that. Yeah, check out the Lego game. It's a really good first dip into that, and I think the
Nice.
gameplay is fun, but it's just regular Lego gameplay. It's nothing too exciting. So yeah,
Nice.
so that was me the last couple weeks.
Very cool. I've been doing two things. I had a little bit of downtime, and I decided to go play a backlog game, a short hike. And it was short, and it was wonderful, and it was fun. I played, I think, one Saturday or Sunday morning with my cup of coffee, and I just finished the game in one playthrough. It was great.
Really?
A lot of fun. If you've never, I think I played it like an hour and a half. This is the Cruise game if you've never played it. It's just fun and enjoyable. Obviously, it's about this little bird who's trying to get to the top of a mountain. There's a reason why. I won't spoil it. And along the way, you can find or purchase these gold feathers, and every time you find a gold feather, essentially it's like another double jump or another flap of the wings, which gets you a little bit higher. So there's parts in the mountain that you can't get up the cliff unless you can fly so many times. There's tons of little side quests if you want, like, hey, I need 20 seashells, and you can go find 20 seashells and give it back to the sky. You can go buy a shovel and go explore and dig up a couple things. It's just an excellent, fun little game with a cute little kind of emotional story in a weird way. It's fantastic. It's just
Nice.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a
it's
fun game.
typically $7.99. I think
That's
it's
cheap.
$8, and people might say $8 for an hour or 2 hour game. I don't know. It was worth it in my eyes. I thought it was really enjoyable.
Did you
So
find the
definitely a Goose game.
volleyball people? I think that they were my
I think
favorite. Yeah,
yes, I
yeah,
did. Yep.
they were fun.
Those are from like little rock climber club.
Did you buy it or did you already have it and it was sitting in your backlog?
No, I bought it. It's been on my watch list forever, and it wasn't on sale. I just paid the $8, but it's been on my watch list for quite some time. And I say, yeah, I'm just gonna pull the trigger.
Good for you.
So, yeah, why not? And then of course, Xenoblade Chronicles X. I started this Friday night,
When did that come
and
out?
I came out Thursday, and I started Friday night. I am 18 hours in already,
Okay.
at level 20. And if
Wow.
you've never played this game, it's fun, right? It's about aliens attack planet Earth and pretty much just blow up the planet. But while that's happening, they had this spaceship that kind of escaped, a massive, massive spaceship with, and they kind of got attacked, but they kind of drifted off into space. 2 years go by. The aliens kind of find them and shoot them down, and they crash land on this planet. And they have like this intact hub that kind of was part of the spaceship that lands on the planet. And they're trying to recreate, they call it New Los Angeles. And they're trying to rebuild the city, and they're going to try to use what's on the planet to help rebuild the city. You do eventually. I don't have it yet. You get like this. They call it a scale, which is essentially like an exoskeleton transformer bot thing, like a suit, kind of like an avatar that you can get into and you can fly and stuff. I don't have it yet, but the game itself is really cool. I love the Xenoblade worlds and the art designs that they created. It's like a Pandora from Avatar. But the fun part is it does have a lot of things that they've stole or borrowed from other games. And what I mean by that is actually maybe the other way around. Um, like in Breath of the Wild, where they have the towers that you see them in the distance or on the map, you go to the tower, climb to the top, you unlock the tower, then it opens up the land around it. Xenoblade has the exact same thing, which this game came out 2014, 2015. So like that's one thing you want to do right away is you see a tower, you want to try to get to it, and then you can open up that land. And then when you do that, you can kind of like put mining probes and stuff there. The other cool thing that they kind of have or stole from is like Monster Hunter. If you're a Monster Hunter fan. It has every battle is kind of long, kind of like Monster Hunter, not as long. But the cool part is you can target different parts of the monster. You can target the head or the claws or the tail, and you have to destroy those to get certain drops for when you kill that monster. So like I had a couple quests where I had to go find like pinchers of these giant crabs. And you could kill the crab, but if you don't kill the pinchers or cut off the pinchers first, you're never gonna get the pincher. So like really cool concept like that. Uh, Unlimited tons of side quests that you can add, and they also have tons of recruits, so you can kind of build your party up to 4 people, come with you, and you can kind of do it any way you want. There's plenty of little skimpy outfits you could give them if you want. Uh, there's
For the
just
dudes?
there's for the dudes, of course, of course.
Okay.
But there's so many levels of things to do. But what I love about these types of big games like a Zelda or something is you get into these like rhythms, right? You do the main storyline and you do a bunch of side quests, and then maybe you can um, invest in these new technologies, and then you can go. I'm gonna go farm these certain items so I can craft a new gun. Um, and there's all these different classes you could do. I've been really leaning into kind of like the sniper class because I never really played a Xenoblade with like a gun. So I have like a sniper, kind of sit way in the back, and then I have a spear if I want to get close and do some melee damage. But I'm having an absolute blast with this. I played this um, back when it came out, but I never finished it. Definitely gonna finish it now. So it's a lot of fun.
I have
It's a mixture
questions.
of
I
all
have
games.
questions about this game.
Ask them all.
Is it single player?
Yes, but I haven't dug into it. There's part of this is like the definitive edition, so you can play online up to 32 people at a time, which I haven't really dug
Interesting.
into. I did dig into a little bit. I joined online, like you can get quests, and I think you don't even have to be in the same party, but maybe it's like collect the things, and I think it all goes to the pool. So you could do that, and then your whole party gets a. But there is online, local, it's single player, but online they did introduce multiplayer.
Okay, so it's not story based. You can't play through the story online. It's like a special online
They
mode.
did certain quests, I believe so. Don't quote me on
Okay.
that, but I'm pretty sure it's just like you can do or hunt certain monsters and stuff that you probably can't beat without more than 4 people. Because you can't play with more than 4 people unless you join.
'Cause it sounds like, I mean, if you had a party of 4 running around, that'd be cool to be able to play that online with 3 other people or something and do that.
If
It
you
is, it's
might
a,
be able to. I'm not.
yeah,
Maybe you can't do the story. You probably can't do the story with it though.
and it's a turn-based RPG, right?
No, it's not. It's more like live action auto attack. The best way to describe it, if you ever played an MMO, like
Yeah, so you
craft
like
or
cooldowns and
anything,
stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
there's cooldowns. So you attack an enemy, you just auto attack. But then there's what they call arts, which are essentially like your skill bar, and they recharge. But there's certain combos, like you can stun them or topple them or knock them down or interrupt them if you use them at the right time. So it's a little bit, you could just go through this game button mashing and not really understand it, and you probably could beat it. You'd probably die a bunch on some of the tougher bosses, but you would definitely be able to get by. But if you really want to have fun with it and beat the enemies faster and some more difficult bosses, you gotta kind of understand a little bit of how that works.
Oh, that's cool. Are there like synergy attacks like with your party members? If you like do a certain attack, could they like key off on
So
that, or can you do like a combo attack type of thing?
the all the other Xenoblades, yes, it's very heavily baked into that. I have a feeling Xenoblade's known to like introduce a lot and then wait a long period of time. If I remember correctly, I think this one does introduce those, but I'm not there yet. Like Xenoblade's known for like 40 hours into the game and introducing a new mechanic. But that's just what they've done that a lot. So I'm pretty sure this will have that, but I don't have that like unlocked per se yet.
Cool.
All the screenshots I've seen are of characters running through a grass field, which reminded me of Lord of the Rings, and that's why I've never played this game. Um,
Is there a
can
question in
you?
there?
No, just a shot at Lord of the Rings. Do you notice the upgrades from the Wii U version? Is it like tangible, or is it just like, hey, here's a port for you?
I mean, God, it's been a long time, but I know the Wii U heavily relied on the gamepad for a lot of stuff. So there's some things that I think make this game a lot easier to play. I haven't noticed really any clipping. You know, a lot of these types of games where like you can see the distance, but they clip it. I haven't really noticed that with this, which I'm shocked because it is very open world and stuff. So
Yeah,
I think I think it's running really smooth. I think there's a
good.
lot of good improvements. I think they added too, which I don't think they had this in the original. If you want to have like a quest, or if you're looking for an item from a certain enemy, you can turn on like the trackball or whatever, and it shows you like the safest and easiest path to get there. Like it's like a red line through the map. You can just follow it. It's
Oh, that's
live on
cool.
your screen. So I've used it sometimes. Sometimes I feel like it leads you on way, but other times, like when there's a cliff, you're like, how do I get up there? You can follow it, and it's gonna get you there.
Nice.
So
I
so
like
that
that.
that definitely saves you a little bit of time.
Nice. I love games that tell me exactly what to do.
Oh yeah, I
Xeno
agree.
or not Xenoblade. Frosticles, aka Frosticles, had a question for us and you specifically. Who
Hmm.
picked up Xenoblade Chronicles X? Who played it on Wii U? General thoughts on the definitive edition. I
Hmm.
think we've covered several of those.
I think so.
Um, yeah.
Then he also
Go
asked
ahead.
us the second part, right? He said, "Do you think it's success? Do you think if this is successful,
Mm.
and the first Xenoblade game on the Switch 2 will be Xenoblade 2, right? Because
Yeah,
trying to remember
X2,
back on the
right?
Switch 2, they had what 1 and 3? No,
Wait,
did they come
no,
out
they had
with?
all of them, right? So they did the remaster, the definitive edition of Xenoblade. They had two, which was like an early title, right? And then they had three, and then
I don't know
X
if they
was
had
just
2.
on the
Did
Pyro and the
they?
Mithril one. I could have sworn that you and John played that a ton.
Oh, maybe you're right.
I've never played these. You did. You tell me.
I don't know. The Xenoblade series represented on the Nintendo Switch. Xenoblade Chronicles definite edition. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
but I
right.
think
They're
I
all
think
there.
I think that's a really interesting question from our boy Frosticles, right? Because
Mm.
do you think this is going to be sort of an offshoot, right? You have sort of the main Xenoblade series, right? And could this, is there enough here in the X version of Xenoblade to kind of create its own franchise?
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's it's
Okay.
it's a it's a great question. I don't know. I think right now with the lull in the Switch, I think people will pick this up. But at the same time, it could go either way. I think this should bridge the gap for a lot of people like me. But it could also, I think a lot of people from what I've seen have like put the Switch to the side. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're playing a lot of other stuff right now, and they'll come back to Nintendo when Switch
Guilty.
2 comes. So I think that happened with a lot of people. I think we just see it in our deleted.
Drew, you're cutting out
So-
a little bit, man.
Oh, so I think knowing that people have been putting down their Nintendo and moving forward without it and bridging the gap and waiting for the Switch 2, that I don't know. I think this is just going to do okay. I don't think this is going to sell millions. I mean, maybe a couple million, right? I don't even know how well the other ones did, but
Yeah, I mean, I think even though I don't play these
Why were you
games,
smiling, Hambone?
I just
What were you smiling about?
because I feel bad saying that I don't play these games. Well, first, well, I was smiling because I don't think they're going to sell millions. And Drew's like, well, maybe 2 million. I'm like, oh, that's millions. But
Right.
well, let's see. How much did like?
but the point I was going to make is, I think games like this, games like Fire Emblem, games that have a little bit more of a mature flavor in the Nintendo space, I really appreciate those, right? Because I think Nintendo, love them or hate them, is a console and a games publisher that's going to put out something for everybody. And without games like Xenoblade, without a game like, I even say like Zelda in some instances, not everyone's a fan of that. Like, I think having a very broad breadth of types of games to choose from is just great. And I'd love to see the series continue on.
So you're right. So I have the numbers here in order that came out on the Switch. So Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out first, 2.7 million. And then Xenoblade 1, the definitive edition, 1.88.
You're right.
And
on
then
there.
Xenoblade 3 was 1.86. So it's been getting worse, which isn't a good sign. I mean, I would say they're probably working on a 4, if anything. I don't think they're going to re-release anything else, but I could be wrong.
Cool.
But
I feel like, is this game more popular in Japan or overseas than it is in America? Is it kind of like a Monster Hunter or something like that? I don't know.
I would think so.
Stylistically,
Okay.
that seems to be the case, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Is that all we got on what we've been playing?
That's it.
That's it for me.
All right. Let me see if I can play my sound. Oh. It's getting
What was that
fancy up
duck?
in here. Watch
I
it.
don't know.
What do you mean? How is it a duck?
Yeah. Did you see the duck that just popped up? That was incredible.
that-
I saw
You just popped in.
it. Just pops.
Awesome.
All right.
Sorry, Goose, go for it.
Next up on the agenda is a segment we like to call Quick Bits, which is rapid style questions. I'm not sure how rapid we're going to get tonight, but we're going to try. And discussion that are relevant to current and trending topics. And I'm not sure how these questions relate to current or trending topics, but
They
they're
don't.
fun.
They're
There's
fun.
some questions that I've had on my mind and in my notes list, and just mulling around in the brain that I thought I wanted to ask my two vesties here and to see their thoughts on it. So the first one I'm going to run with is maybe if you have any of your children watching right now, I'm going to maybe skip ahead 5 minutes. Or I don't know why you'd listen to this with your kids. I don't know. Before I came down and recorded this, my daughter was like, "Can I listen?" I'm like, "Sure." We don't talk about anything crazy, but right now I'm going to get into a little detail that I don't want any children to hear about. It's really about the social economics of Ukraine and the geography of Egypt and the Tooth Fairy. So let's put the kids aside for a minute and talk about this. My child lost a tooth last night, and my wife was like, "Man, we need to give her some money." And I said, "Why? The Tooth Fairy will give her some money." But she was like, "You're gonna go in there and do that." I was like, so my kid came in and was like, "I lost a tooth." I said, "How about I give you the money for a tooth?" And she was like, why would you do that instead of the tooth fairy? And my wife was like, "Come over here and look in this jar beside my bed." And the kid went over there and it was filled with her teeth. And she was like, "I knew it." So
No.
yeah. But she made a deal with the children that if they pull their own teeth, they get $20 for a tooth.
Wow.
That's like I got a quarter from the tooth fairy. Is $20 outrageous?
It's high. It's high. It's high. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm typically like $3 to $5. Yeah, I guess I'm always trying to go on the higher side, and the wife's always trying to bring me down.
Yeah, that's the accountant in her right there. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But what about you, Hambone?
Well, we've had 5 lost teeth so far with Owen. His teeth came in late, and he's losing them late. And I thought $5 was a great amount for the tooth fairy to give. However,
Uh-oh.
in
I see where this is going.
today's day and age, you don't really have that much cash on you. The tooth fairy like pays digital a lot, right? Apple Pay, right?
Uh-huh.
So unfortunately, the first time the tooth fairy only had a $10 bill, so that's sort of like the going rate for teeth in Connecticut.
You're in
these
trouble.
days. Yeah.
Gosh,
So
man.
$10. She did bring Robux twice.
Yeah.
So
Tis
The,
So-
the
tis
better
age,
question
right?
is, how many times has the tooth fairy forgot to come?
0 times.
So
Zero
far.
for Hambone. It's been once or twice here.
Yeah.
But yeah. $10
You're in
per
trouble.
tooth, man. I didn't see a $10 bill until I worked
Total.
at Wendy's and they paid me $5.15 an hour.
It's 2 hours of work.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. All right. Well, I guess it is what it is. You all out there listening, now you know. Now you know. I think $3 is a good number, but maybe I'm cheap. I don't know. But I like your idea of digital as well. All right. Next up, and that covers the state of affairs in Greenland. Next. Do you guys have any state fair stories? Maybe not a state fair, but like a carnival, or you know what I'm talking about? Places that
I
set
do.
like pop up rides and things like that. Do you
Why
guys have
not
any
a
stories?
fair? Why not like
Yeah,
King
state fair.
Richard's fair, like a Renaissance fair?
Sure.
I don't really have any great stories, but I have a Nintendo related fair story, so it's not great, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I went to King Richard's Fair, which is like the local big Renaissance fair with the girls in the corsets, and you walk around with a pint, and you see take a picture with a lighter, and you know.
Wait, hold on. Take a
Renaissance
picture with the liger.
Yeah, let's
Liger.
pause
I
on that.
missed that. Yeah,
There's an
hold on.
actual liger.
Oh yeah, they had a lighter.
Okay,
That's amazing. That's
Awesome.
amazing.
You
Perfect.
throw axes, you drink some mead, you have a turkey leg, and
That sounds fun.
they have jousting tournaments. It's fun. So I was wearing a Zelda shirt, a Link shirt, and it had like the Hyrule shield with like the Master Sword kind of like across it, but it was under the front of your shirt. It's a T-shirt. It was nothing special. I think I wore it, tried to be a little bit of, back in the day. I was trying to be a knight, but that's the best I had to offer. I didn't have any vests. So I had some broad come up to me. Some people come to these things full in character. And she just started busting my balls. And I was like, why are you busting my balls? She goes, why would you ever wear a shield on the front of you?
Oh.
And I didn't have an answer. It's the T-shirt. Sorry. I don't know.
She's real mad.
You didn't know the Renaissance police were out to get you.
You
I
smack
said,
her
do you want me
with
to
a
like
turkey
turn it
leg?
around and wear it backwards? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's not a
Wow.
great story, but it's a story,
pretty
and it's
good.
kind of
Yeah.
Nintendo related. So I thought it'd be fair for your question.
Yeah.
Nice. All right,
Interesting.
I've got one for you.
Let's hear it.
So early, I think was like it was like a county fair or something, whatever. It was right when my wife and I first started dating. We were just doing like random stuff, like go to the fair, whatever. But before that,
Those were the days.
yeah, it was super fun, right? So we went to dinner and then had some drinks before the fair because that's what you do when you're early 20s, right? Um,
Or you eat at the fair.
yeah, well, I mean, it was like a nighttime type thing, right? So we went there, and we're walking into the fair. I think we had to like get a bus or whatever, but this was we multiple hours into our evening, and I was feeling okay. I was driving. I was kind of taking it easy. Not so much for my wife, and she's struggling back there. She's walking a little bit slower, so I slow down to walk with her, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And the words that came out of her mouth were supposed to be, "I'm a little tipsy," but it came out like chipsy. So now so now every time that she gets a little like half in the bag, I said, "Oh man, is Chipsy coming out to play
Here
tonight?"
comes Chips.
So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. So that's her alter ego is Chipsy.
That's it.
Chip
Yeah.
chips.
Nice.
That's it for me.
Yeah. I the reason I brought this up was because I remember going when I was a young teenager to we called it the carnival. I don't know why we called it that, but it was like a fair. But they had this ride called the Gravitron. Did you guys ever see that or know that?
Is that the one where you get
The
stuck to
giraffe.
the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, I know
basically
that.
like a giant ring that looks like a spaceship, and you get
Yep.
inside it and it spins so fast that you stick to the wall. I never rode it. I was always scared to ride it, but who in their right mind, like that can't be like okay, right? Is that a weird thing?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Don't they do that? Like, I think that's part of like astronaut training too for like certain G's.
Yeah.
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 Just spin really fast. It just gives you
Just
like a
what an
weird
odd
sensation.
ride. Just we're just gonna spin you and like people would puke and stuff.
Oh yeah. Terrible.
I just never really it never really clicked why people would do that.
There's a ride in Disney in Epcot called Mission Space, and it's essentially that ride, but they fancy it all up like you're in a spaceship, so you don't
Hmm.
think of it. But now that you bring it up, it's just a glorified shitty carnival ride
Yeah,
with
it
some
is.
screens and buttons to push like you're in space. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. They just sling
Great.
you against the wall.
That's it, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. I did go to a state fair once and buy some baby chickens, and I took them home, kept them in my basement, and they ended up freezing in a couple days. That's how cold my basement was. I lived down there too.
Why
Crazy.
didn't you
That's
lead with that story? Just
R.I.P. chickens.
I feel like there's more there than just a spinning
Yeah.
carnival
yeah,
ride.
yeah. I just
That's
thought
it
I'd leave
though.
it there.
Okay. I think
Amazing.
that's a
Frozen
good one.
chickens. Frozen chickens. Yeah. And
Uh,
that started my obsession with eggs. Anyways, uh, so I had a friend I went to high school with who unfortunately passed away, but he's still on my friends list. What do you guys think about social media friends or family who have passed away that are still on your list?
that's I I saw the question you wrote and I was like, I don't have anybody like. And then you just said that example, and I had some. Actually, it was a friend of mine who was on my same grade, and he passed away maybe 3 4 years ago from cancer. Sad story, same age as me.
Mhm.
Um, but you're right. So I'm friends with him on Facebook,
Right.
and his wife, who I never really knew, I wasn't friends with, but like every once in a while, and like on the anniversary of his death, she'll like tag him and say like, "We miss you so much," and like pictures of his wife and kids and a picture of him, and I'm just like, "Fuck!"
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
like that ruined my day. Like that he was my friend. He's the same age as me. Like that could be. He had a family. Like
Yeah.
so. To answer your question, I guess I don't unfollow them. And now that I think about it, it's twofold, right? I mean, it's sad, it's depressing, but maybe in a maybe a selfish way, it kind of reminds you like to not take life for granted and to be thankful for what you have.
Yeah.
I
No, I
like
totally
that.
agree. You know, it's
You
it's
know,
a, it's a good way to remember a friend too, right? It's
it is. It is.
you know,
I
as
agree.
sad and depressing as it can be, right? I think you make some good points about appreciating what you have and all that good stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's just the sucky situation. We'll all be there one day, but while we're
Mm.
here, we'll just remember the good times.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Facebook's different too because you can tag. I guess I was thinking about Instagram, but yeah, Facebook you can tag people and go back and like, yeah. I think it's weird too when people that don't know that they've passed away wish them happy birthday
Yeah.
every year on
Oh,
Facebook, and you
Yeah,
go and
that's
it's
a little
like,
strange, but
oh, that's kind of
yeah,
cringy. Yeah, that's
that
yeah.
is
I didn't think
cringy.
about Facebook actually, but then once you said that, interesting. But yeah,
Mm,
I agree, Hambone. It's a good way. It's a good way to remember people.
it
So
is.
thanks for that. Thanks for helping me clear that up because I was debating,
Yeah.
do I delete him or not?
Make it a happy thing.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's all perspective, right?
Which leads into the next question. The doctor calls
Oh,
and says, Hambone, you have 24 hours to live. Unfortunately, you've lived a good life, but you've only got 24 hours left. What do you do?
Yeah, that's crazy. First, how'd you get my number? Um,
wrong
yeah,
guy.
yeah. So when I first saw this question, the first thing I thought of is just that. Have you seen that? What's a Shane Gillis skit where they're on the plane and the captain comes on and like we're all going down. Like sorry, the plane's gonna crash, and everyone's around him calling their loved ones saying, "Oh, I love you so much. I'm gonna miss you, whatever." And it pans over to Shane's character. And he's calling his boss, and he's like, "Mother effer, I always hated you. Like, you're the worst person." Yeah. And then
Yeah.
everyone's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, if I'm going down, I'm going to tell him how I really feel." And then
Right.
everyone's like doing the same thing around. It's pretty funny. And then the
That
plane
is
comes
funny.
up and doesn't actually crash and whatever. But um, so it's a
Of
great
course.
skit.
Yeah.
It's a great
Yeah.
skit. But no, for me personally, man, I don't know, man. I think it's just unplug from everything. Pull in the ones you hold dear and spend some time with
Yeah.
them and do what they want to do
Yeah.
and kind of make some final memories. I don't have anything like bucket list things. But there's not that many cool things to do in here in Connecticut where I'm like, oh, I want to go skydiving
Yeah.
or like jump off a bridge or something. But um, yeah,
Jump off
nothing
a
special.
bridge.
Tethered to a bungee cord,
No, I'm
maybe.
gonna kill. I'm
Yeah,
choosing my own
yeah,
death.
I'm going out myself here.
I'm
Yeah,
doing it.
Yeah.
so yeah, nothing
I'm
too crazy.
I'm with Hambone there. I
Mhm.
think it's a very cliche and answer, but it's twofold. I mean, you definitely want. I like the unplugging idea, right? I mean, I don't think I'm just gonna go grab my food and just go to town. Like I think you're just gonna end up chilling out, but at the same time, you're creating. It's like when you think about it, it's you're creating your last memory for other people, right? So at the
Mm.
same time, I wouldn't want to just be around my family moping and being depressed and then being moping and depressed because that's how they're going to remember the last day with you. So
Mhm.
I think I'd have to probably think about like what's something that we could all do together as a happy thing, right?
Mhm.
Maybe call over some friends and loved ones, have a little party, and just reminisce. But I agree.
Yeah.
I think that would be more on that side of the thing than like Hambone said.
Yeah.
I, I, I go do something stupid. Maybe yeah. It's hard to say. I don't. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm leaning no. What about you, Cruz? You gonna go buy some vests or something?
I mean, I've got at least 4 vests, so I think I'm good there. But the reason why I asked this, I was in church. My preacher asked this, and that's the first thing I thought of was like little loved ones, right? You call people and tell them that you
Yeah.
love them. I talk to my mom very rarely. I mean, I'd obviously call her, right? And maybe touch base with some people that I haven't talked to in a while that I want to catch up with, just to say one last hoorah. I asked the question to my daughter, and she was like, I'd try to eat a cloud. I'd ride an elephant. And I was like, "You've already rode an elephant." Well, she was like, "But I didn't get to smack its butt and make it go fast." I'm like, "Well, okay, there.
Yeah,
I guess that's
smack some elephant butt.
priorities,
Yeah,
right?" Yeah.
sweet.
So she had her list of riding a unicorn and trying to eat a cloud. But then I saw the other day on social media where this guy he's got terminal cancer. He's gonna pass away and knows it and is still kind of in decent health right now, but threw himself like a pre-funeral. He like threw a party with all his friends and brought them all in to where he could almost to where he could experience his funeral, you know. So everybody got up and said what they liked about him, and they ended up the night dancing and singing and having food and stuff. So I thought that was pretty
Yeah, that's
pretty
really
That is
cool. Like,
cool.
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, I kind
That
of like
is
that idea.
a
Okay,
free
well,
funeral. Yeah,
let's
I like that.
let's transition off the
Let's get a little
depressing,
happier here.
sad stuff.
Yeah.
So my next question, I feel like I know where Drew's gonna lean here, and probably Hambone too. How do you guys feel about modded consoles? I asked this question because I just got out my Vita. I, it, for those that don't know, the PlayStation Vita is my favorite console of all time. I think
Wow.
it beats the Switch. I like the layout. I like the accessibility. I like that you can get trophies on it and it syncs to your PlayStation account. I like the operating system. The games look fantastic, especially for their age. You can play you can play multiple systems and stuff. But I got it out the other day and I'm like, I Googled, I said, how do I hack this thing? It's like super easy. Here you go. You can play every game ever made on it. And I'm like, is this something I want to do? So I wanted to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on game piracy?
Well, I think game piracy and modding are two different things, right? Because I think you can do a lot of different things with the modding,
Sure,
whether it's
that's true.
like you
That's true.
mentioned, like sort of the internal what's it, the software components of it, right? Where you can put emulators on it, or you can do other
Yeah.
things. But you can also like kind of mod the outside, right? Like there's all kinds of like
Hmm.
aftermarket switch
Yeah.
cases you can kind of reskin, or like I was actually looking at got an extra PS5 controller. I'm thinking about taking it apart and like getting a new shell for it and like doing that kind of stuff. So I think that's all cool.
Hmm.
The whole concept of like the emulation and piracy is like a little dicey for me,
Really?
honestly.
Yeah.
Um, I I like it in the fact to say like, hey, I've got my copy of Chrono Trigger sitting over there in the corner. I love Chrono
Hmm.
Trigger. I'm always gonna have it, but that cart's not gonna work forever. So like, if I can
Right.
get an emulated copy of that, yeah, whatever. I don't really mind about that. But in terms of saying like, hey, I'm gonna download like every whatever console game onto this just because I can, I'm like,
Hmm.
I mean, the older stuff I don't have as much of an issue with. If you're gonna say like, you hear a lot of stuff about like people pirating like Switch games and like modern stuff, and that really rubs me the wrong way. But something
Yeah,
where it's
I
like
agree.
it's hard for you to get your hands on it physically, whether it's just lack of supply or cost prohibitive because aftermarket is so ridiculous. I'm a little bit more
Right.
lax on that, to be honest with you. I'm like,
Hmm.
do what you want to do, make yourself happy, but like, I don't know. That's kind of where I
Yeah.
lead.
Hmm.
Drew?
Yeah, my take little different. I think that I mean I'm indifferent about the fact of I know a lot of people like, hey, this is how we put games out of business, and sure that's but I don't really care from that point of view. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings if someone says, hey, I pirated all these games. Like, okay, good, enjoy it. Um, I think my take's a little bit different. I think these consoles were developed and created with certain softwares and right. So, I know they came out with that. What was
You're cutting out a
Game
little bit
Boy?
there, Drew.
What was that one like the Game Boy looking that was the big deal that everyone wanted?
Um,
The handheld one.
Recently,
Oh,
right?
no.
Was it
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like retro, it's not Retron. It was
I
why am I
forget.
blanking on it? But they just did the six
You know
they
what
just
I'm
did a 64, didn't they? That same
I don't
company?
know, but
Oh,
I
oh.
guess my point is like I guess I wouldn't want to be playing games that were made for like a console on this little Game Boy looking device. Do you
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. Like I just find that I guess, and maybe part of me is saying that I save every Nintendo system I've ever bought, every Nintendo game I've ever bought. I have every one still.
Hmm.
So could I go boot those back up? Sure. Would the NES games and hard to maybe get to work and play and sit there for 4 hours? Yes. So that's probably unreal. But I'm a big believer of like, especially older games. It was a part of my life. I played them. If I missed a lot, I missed a lot. But there's so many video games, I think, in today's market, in today's world, that you can find something to play. I just played a Short Hike, which is a few-year-old game, and I loved it and I enjoyed it. Right? So I don't know. My take is I don't really it doesn't bother me for people that do it around me. I just don't have an interest. I'd rather just
Mm.
play what's current. And maybe it's because I don't have time to play all right, but I play what's out there. And it's a weird mentality. I don't really out of that closed bots in a way. Like I have a Switch, I can only play games that come out on the Switch. That's my only option. And that's my choice. It's like, could I go buy one of the other devices? That sure. I just don't because there's so many options and ability of downloading whatever, a shitty game or a good game. Just there, I can do it. I can take it on the go. I can play it. It's meant to be.
Yeah.
So
Analog,
that's
analog pocket.
the analog pocket.
Yeah.
Yep. Like that was known to play almost any game on it, and it's just I don't know. Why would I want to be playing some games on that tiny little screen that weren't really designed for that device with that button combination? So that's my take on it. I'm not against it. I think it might suck for certain organizations and whatnot, but I don't judge people that do it or really care for people that.
Kuz, do you have
So.
multiple Vitas? I'm assuming the answer is yes. Or is it just the one Vita?
I've got one Vita that's signed by a couple people that I have in a frame. And then I have one that I play or am gonna go back to playing. Stick has drift, and I just ordered a replacement stick, which I'm
Nice.
gonna replace in it. I thought about on my trip buying a new one if I can find one somewhere in Japan.
You might be able to probably more likely over there than over here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah, that was my
yeah,
point. If
yeah.
you have multiple options, like the whole thing with my PS5
Yeah.
controller, right? If I take it apart and I mess it up, I'm not able to put it back together. Like, whatever. Like, no big deal because I have another option. But like, if that was my only one, I'd be like, I don't know if I really want to bust this thing open. So
That's true.
Okay.
yeah.
I will say I knew a family in high school, some friends who got the parents got the dreadful letter phone call saying your kids downloaded 2,500 songs on Napster and we're suing you.
Oh
And
no.
they had to pay per song down. Yeah, you always
Jeez.
hear about that, and it's like,
Yeah.
that would never happen. And these were like I was friends with the daughter. There was an older brother that my brother was friends with. It was just like family friend. Yeah, I don't remember how much they pay, but they had to pay.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Wow. I have a soft modded Wii, so it's not hard. It's nothing internally. It's just like, I don't know, it's some program that soft mods it. But I've got just the old games on there, all the old Nintendo, Super
Oh, nice.
Nintendo, and Atari
Yeah.
2600 games. But to your point, Drew, I don't ever play them. Like,
Yeah.
why? I don't, they're there, but I mean, I haven't played those in probably 20 years. Like,
Mhm.
fired up that whenever the Wii, was out. So, yeah. Yeah. To your point, you can do all that all you want, but it's, why not play the latest and greatest?
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Yeah. But man, I love the Vita. It would be nice to have that thing and every game ever made right there in my pocket.
Do it.
nice. Do it. I won't tell.
All right, last but not least, what's the dumbest way you've injured yourself? Drew, didn't you have a story about riding a bike over a ramp with like a hole dug into it? Was that you?
Can't say that's me.
Somebody
Sounds
rode
like something I would do.
a bike off a ramp and fell into their own hole that they dug. I don't know. I thought that
Sounds
was a Drew
incredible.
story. Maybe that was somebody else.
I mean, I
Hambone,
have a
tell
lot of
me.
stuff.
Tell me.
Take your pick, man.
Nice.
I've got a few over here. So my latest, right? So I broke my
Mhm.
foot. I wouldn't say that's necessarily dumb, right? I was running, I stepped in a hole, and I didn't dig the hole myself. So It was a pre-dug hole by nature, and I broke my foot in October. Um, Before that, when we met up and met our boy Rex for golf, I
Mhm.
took this spill off of the one wheel.
That's
Um,
right.
so that was kind of crazy. So right, if you guys don't know, one wheel is that motorized electric one-wheeled skateboard that
Yeah.
self-balances and is great when you're on flat ground, and when you hit a curb too fast, or it wasn't even a curb, it was sort of like a lip in the road.
Oh,
It kicked off the self-balancing aspect of it, and I did a little Superman and scraped up my hand really
sheesh.
good and my side. It was
Mhm.
it was it was pretty rough there for a little bit, but I still golfed. It was fine. um
Golfed.
a
I
similar
remember your hand. Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty raw there. um when I was maybe 15 or so, I did a lot of mountain biking. That was sort of how I got around town. We lived sort of in a woody town, some main roads and stuff, but enough where you can get around in a half-hour radius just riding your bike. So I did a lot of that, which was great. But I did a lot of trail rides too. And I remember vividly one summer we were going right at the beginning of this trail, and like a stick or something. I'm pretty sure it was a stick that got stuck in my front tire. So I went Supermaning off my
Oh,
bike, just instinctively. One arm went to cover my eyes, so I didn't like poke out my eyes. I have a cousin who actually lost an eye from a similar story, so that's like always in the back of my head,
ugh.
like protect your eyes. But my other arm went out like a Superman, and when it went out, right in the on the inside of my elbow, I scraped it up pretty bad. Not terribly, but a deep enough scrape where it hurt. But because it was in my right in like the crevice of my elbow, every time I'd sleep, I'd bet you'd bend your elbow, move it around. So when I slept and my arm wasn't perfectly straight, it would scab up in that form. So every morning when I
Oh,
stretched out my arm, I would reopen the
Mm.
cut, and that thing took like 3 months to heal. It was brutal.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
that's
rough.
tough.
Yeah. So
ugh.
those are a lot of stupid ways
Yeah.
I've hurt myself.
Drew, how about you?
Man, I'll give three quick ones. One, when I was a young kid, there was everyone was outside. There was fireworks. I had to run inside to get some. I ran back outside, and the the outside door like had no spring on it, and I had no shoes on, no socks, and like the door slammed in my foot, and like it was disgusting. Like the side of my foot, it was like the corner of the door, just a chunk of flesh. It was gross. It was just a
Uh,
chunk of flesh. I still have a scar from it.
mm,
Another one when I was Halloween night, I was dressed as a bumblebee,
mhm.
probably like 7, and my
Teen.
mom had 17. My mom had old electric stoves where like the coils get orange.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I was like, why are those orange? She's like, oh, don't touch those ever. That means they're super hot. And I was like, okay. So she walked away and I just touched it, and like the skin just stuck to the peeled off. It was
Oh,
oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
ruined my whole Halloween night.
Yeah.
I bet.
Brutal.
Last year, that was actually last year.
Do you guys
But
remember the kerosene heaters like from back in like
Yeah.
the 80s,
oh
90s? I did
yeah,
the same thing with my uncle's kerosene heater. I'm like, that's not going to be hot, right? No, it was hot.
yeah,
No.
Yep. Yep.
exactly. Another one, high school hockey. Uh, what a lot of hockey players used to do, I don't know if they still do it. They cut the palms of their hockey grips so you can grip a stick with your bare hands, but you still looks like you're wearing a glove. And you just get a really good, it's like, you get your hands on the meat. It feels good.
Mhm.
And so I did that. I had that. And mine were
Hands
just
on the
more
meat.
hands on the
I was
meat.
going to
You
let that
want to
one
really
go, but that's
Okay.
grasp
good.
that
I'm
sucker.
I'm not letting that one go,
Yeah.
Hambone.
Yeah, good, good.
Um, so I had that, and so there was, a lot of times in hockey you see like the puck gets and you catch it and you put it back on the ice and you keep skating.
Yeah.
So there was like a kid was like slap shot in it to dump it in the corner, and I was there and I saw it. I had time, so I go to grab it, not thinking, and it hit like the tip of my finger, no glove, of
Ah.
course, and I broke my finger. I shattered the nail, and I had to get like 4 stitches. It was just disgusting. and
Jeez.
learned my lesson that day.
Yeah.
And then the last one with my finger was a few years ago. My dog Goomba stole my kid's like peanut butter and jelly sandwich and ran away with it in his mouth. And I was just pissed. I just made it. The kids were cranky. The kid was now crying because they lost their. I was pissed. So I went over the dog and backed him into a corner. And you know, any dog, first of all, like dog with food and backed him into a corner. Big two no. And I tried to just grab it out of his mouth. Well, I don't know what I was gonna do. Like I wasn't gonna give it back to my kid. Like at that point, it was irrelevant. It was just me versus him. And I don't have a big dog, but he bit my finger so hard. And I tried, obviously, he bit it, and I tried instantly trying to pull my finger back, but its tooth was in my finger.
Ooh.
And it was, oh my God, it just ripped a huge line. And it was right on the joint. And I was like, it was so bad that like blood like squirted over the wall, like in a
God.
gross.
Brutal.
And like I waited like 5 days, and I was like, I'm fine. And like wife kept saying like you gotta go to the doctor. Finally went to the doctors, like and they had to give me like a tetanus shot, and they had to like they're like, well, you waited too long. Give you stitches now, like we have to glue it, and it was just
Oh man.
sucked.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
When was that?
That was probably 4 years ago, 5
Huh.
years ago.
Yeah.
I was in this house, so within the last 6 years.
Yeah. Jeez.
Good old Goomba. What about you, Cruz? What do you got for?
I'm a very careful person. I don't injure myself a lot. My brother, on the other hand, did all that. When he was little, he walked up to the kerosene heater with a towel wrapped around him after he got out of the shower, opened the towel up, and
Oh.
burnt his little wiener on the kerosene heater.
That's brutal.
I mean, everything that could happen. We were playing hide and go seek. The base was a cement picnic table, and he ran and tripped, and his face hit the cement picnic table, and just
Oh, God.
scraped his whole face up, broke his arm. He tried to open the garage once, and it had like a hook in it that caught his hand and lifted him up, and like
Oh my
ripped
God,
his
dude.
palm open.
Brutal.
Final
He got
Destination.
he got the worst of it. But something that happened to me recently. Let me see if I can remember this. We had a wooden picture frame that the kids had knocked off a shelf, and it broke. And I'm like, I can fix it. I can fix anything. I've got all the tools. So I went out and I have a pin nailer. And
Oh boy.
I had the frame was about an inch wide by about half an inch thick, all in a rectangle. And the rectangle had kind of broken at the corner in half. So I was trying to pin nail the corner, and the pin nailer is janky, and it's a battery powered. So it's not even, it's very hit or miss. So I was trying to pin nail this, and it wasn't shooting. It was just dry firing. And my wife's in her office, like, what is going on? What is that sound? What is going on? And I was like, all right, I'll take this to the garage. I'm going to really get serious about this. So went to take it to the garage, and I had the frame and my pin nailer, and went to open the door and dropped the frame, and now the glass broke. Psh, and buddy, I was pissed. I was saying all the F words. Frank Farfignugan fishing funnily. And I ended up cleaning up the glass, getting the frame out there, putting that thing together, and pow, it shot that pin nail right through the frame and right through my finger. I mean, the pin nail
Oh
went
my God.
through the frame and it stapled the frame to my finger and was sticking out the other side. And it was one of those things where you get hurt and it's like shock more than pain. I looked down and just saw a picture frame hanging from my finger and was like, that's weird. Like I didn't even feel the pain. It was just like it was like shock. So I had to pull the frame off my finger and the nail out of
Oh
my
my
finger,
God.
but I healed. I'm better. My finger is intact, and yeah, that's probably the dumbest way I've hurt myself in a very long time. So
That's a
Very
good dumb
nice.
one.
yeah,
I had
yeah.
a cousin that did the same thing, building a shed, but with a nail gun. And
Oh,
he had to go. Yeah, he has X-rays. He always reminds us, and the X-ray is literally just right through like the palm of his hand of a nail gun.
Oh, yeah, that's
Ugh.
terrible. Well, guy, you don't hear any of those stories from girls, right? It's always the guys that do that. So
Yeah, of course.
lucky us.
Yep.
All right. Did you see the
Hey,
duck?
The duck.
the duck is back.
All right. Next up, we've got who the hell is buying that? In this segment, we scour the internet, and by we, I mean Hambone, for the most ridiculous products. We discuss. Yo, we're not doing that, Hambone. He
Yes,
just
we
shook
are.
his head.
I'm super
Okay,
excited.
gotcha.
I can't hold into myself. I'm ready.
He's shaking his head. He's
I'm
so
shaking
excited.
my head. I'm ready. Let's do it.
Hambone Johnny scours the web for the most ridiculous products. And let me tell you, Hambone Johnny is the best in the business at this. We're going to discuss who is buying these, the price, the practical uses, and if we had to pick, which one are we buying? Follow along with screenshots and video on our live stream right now via Switch, or follow up with the YouTube video, which I super slacked on last time, but this week I'm going to be on it. Hambone, what you got?
All right, guys. Temu is back with a vengeance.
Temu never left, baby.
I think my favorite part about the segment is the week after all the Temu ads that I get.
Oh,
it's
you're gonna get
fantastic.
a ton. I remember.
can't wait.
So after last segment, what was it? It was like a mini jigsaw or something that I sent you. I was like, cost $0, and you'll have 0 fingers left afterwards. Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen. Hopefully, you're gonna have to watch the Twitch yourself to be able to see this, but I've got 3 very, very interesting items to discuss here tonight.
That is sick.
Item number 1 from the Temu vault is Temu large inflatable tent. Now, when we say large, this thing is like freestanding garage size large.
It's got to be 15 feet tall.
Like, do you want a shed or do you want a massive like inflatable tent? This is sort of your take on it. It's got
I'll tell you what.
interesting door, I'd say. I don't know what that is. It's like a pull down door. And I don't know what that rectangle is on the front. Maybe a window. Maybe just a rectangle. Who's to say? But yeah, what do you guys think? If you had to peg a price, how much for the large inflatable tent on Temu?
All I know is someone that's in the market of building an outdoor golf simulator. This could be my new answer.
You can put probably put a hot tub in this thing.
I love that there's no windows. It's all black, and it looks like the outside of a sleeping bag.
It really does.
If I had to put a price on this, I think this is more of what I'm willing to pay. $6.99.
$6.99. All right. First of all, let me say that at the bottom of this picture it says furniture finds. I love that it says that. Second of all, I don't think this thing is even near that size in real life. They show that picture, you get it home, it's going to be a 6x6 square. It's going to be tiny bobini.
It is set with this nice like log cabin and like snow on the ground.
Yep.
Do you have the measurements for this, Hambone?
I don't, but I do have the price.
Okay. All right, let me guess. I'm going to go with.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
$129.99.
$467, and even $467.
I think it's bigger than you think for $467.
I think it's pretty big. I think this is like shed size.
So my question is, if it's inflatable, like, is there like it 6 to 8 inch with walls? So what's the inflatable part? The door is open. It's not like there's meat to those walls.
These are great questions.
Nobody has the answer for.
No one has the answer. I just see the ads and think it's funny, and I pull it here and I look up the price sometimes. This is as far as I get.
If you try finding this on Temu, I bet you can't find it.
Make sure you do an incognito tab. You'll be fine.
I was going to say, I had something pop up the other day on one of my feeds that was similar, but it was called Large Inflatable Club. Like, it looked the same, but it was pitched as like a nightclub.
Oh,
so
nice.
That
Maybe
was
like
weird.
A disco ball or something on the inside.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. I'm staying far away from this. I'm going nowhere near this. So
yeah, I don't know. There's some crazy stuff happening in the tent. No one's too sure. All right, item number 2. Last time, just a little preface. Last time we did this, there's a lot of vehicular items, a lot of wheels. Some
I love 'em.
items with 3 wheels. Well, guess what?
Mhm.
We're back. We're back, boys.
Yes.
We're
I'm
back
so happy.
with
So
electric
happy.
scooter. 3-wheel electric scooter. Not only
Yes.
not only is it electric, not only does it have front and back brakes, it has a seat, guys. It has a seat.
I swear I love it.
Just for your sitting pleasure. In case you don't want to stand, probably can't even stand on this thing. You gotta sit. Where do your feet go?
Mhm.
No one knows, but you can sit.
Yeah, where do your feet go?
I'm
Is there
guessing there's
pedals or
little
something?
pegs there. There's little pegs there.
There's
on the
got to be
front.
pegs or something. But this thing that also what was cool on the other image I saw, it folds up. It folds up.
Yes. Yeah.
So you stick
Yep.
it right in your trunk. You could fit
Yep.
like 50 of these in your inflatable tent. Options are endless.
I have dimensions of that tent, by the way, if you want to go back to
I want to
Okay.
hear it. I want to hear the
14
dimensions.
feet high.
No freaking way,
Listen,
Drew.
it gets better. 16 feet wide,
No
Yeah.
way.
20 feet deep.
What?
It's huge. I'm telling you, you can live in this thing.
All right.
You could freeze a
Okay.
couple chickens here, no
and-
problem.
And the little white square in the front is to put your customized logo. So we could
Yes,
put
it
the
is.
8-bit clubhouse right
Ah,
on
I
there.
Big
love it.
clubhouse. That may
Amazing.
be. I might buy that and turn it into the physical 8-bit clubhouse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cancel my PAX East hotel reservations and just pull up on the sidewalk with this thing.
You think it folds up into like a sleeping bag?
Those of you that
Hot
are going to
over your
PAX
shoulder.
East,
Just
keep
look
an
out
eye
for
out
the
for
eight-
Hambone
yeah.
Johnny on the side of the road in an inflatable tent.
Incredible.
All right, back
I
to the
love it.
scooter.
Sorry.
All right,
No,
back
that's
to the
fine. That's fine.
scooter.
I want to ask you guys, how much do you think the scooter costs here?
$250.
159.
You guys are lowballing me. $541. This thing is
What?
legit. I don't know how. They must have a lot of electric. But yeah,
Wow.
on
Is that on
sale
sale for that
from
price?
$830. Apparently so. Pick it up
At
in
the
a
bottom,
local
it
warehouse.
says local warehouse. Do we have a local Temu warehouse?
I'm gonna.
You got it.
Sure to that.
Apparently so.
For those at home, Hambone just shrugged his shoulders.
You could.
Who knows?
Who knows? You
Yeah.
never know. All right, so that's
I'll tell you
item
right now,
number 2.
local warehouses are located in California, Texas, and New Jersey.
All right,
Golly,
I'm
Drew
pretty
is
close
on
to
the
Jersey.
ball here.
That's awesome. You're on it, man. I
Yeah.
was gonna say closer than China, so I'll take it. All right. So last item. I don't know. We all 3 of us, we have dogs, right? We love our
Mm.
dogs. My wife likes to take
Yeah.
our dog upstairs and sleeps in the bed with us, and I'm like, I don't
Ooh.
love it. I don't hate it, but I said let's turn this thing around and flip it on its head. Instead of the dog
Okay.
sleeping with us, let's sleep with the dog. Shop your favorite
Oh,
items on Temu at low
no.
prices, amazing New Year's discount. Faux fur cozy pet lounger only. And this, I'm not going to ask the price for you guys because it's right here on the ad. $65.44. Big enough to fit like 3 or 4 golden retrievers, but also a human. You can cuddle right up in this
I don't
thing.
hate it. I don't hate it. You zoom in on that sucker, it has a little attachment pillow. And is that like a matching blanket or is that like a sleeping bag where you slide into
it's
it?
got something in there. It's got
It's like a
side
pouch, a
Yeah,
human
it's
pouch.
it's human pouches. It also has side pouches for like your phone, maybe, or like it looks like maybe like
I want to know
birthday card for the
what
dog.
what would Peaches do if you had this in the room where Peaches' current bed is? You lay in this thing. Peaches is gonna walk into the room, look at you like you're a complete idiot, and jump in the bed, and then you're gonna be sleeping. Or
Uh-huh.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. But yeah, I saw this thing and I was like, what the hell is this? Yeah, no, it's a full on person just in the dog bed, just laying with the dog. I look super cozy. I gotta give him that.
it does look kind of cozy.
Mhm.
This should be a
So-
great like nap, like Saturday, Sunday afternoon. You want to lay down for a bit. You lay in this thing.
Just jump in the dog bed. No big deal. It's not gonna smell bad
Yeah.
at all. All right. So that's all I've got for you guys tonight. 3
All right.
items. We keep it a little bit
Mhm.
shorter on this segment this time. We've got
Okay.
dog bed, human-sized dog bed. We've got extremely large inflatable tent, or we've got master of electric scooter. What are you guys picking?
For the price, the dog bed is the value there, right? Because I've seen dog beds, some of them cost that much for just a normal sized dog bed if you get super fancy. So for $65.44, by the way, what an odd price. You tack 44 cents there on the
That's for
$65.
shipping.
It's not even like it's 64.99. It's 65.44.
It's amazing.
It's the most for the val. It's got the best value here, right? But I gotta go scooter, man. I love my wheels. I love my transportation. I love that it folds up. It looks cool. I think that I could put somebody standing on the back, holding around my waist. We
No
could do like the
chance.
Dumb and Dumber going from, Denver to Aspen. I think that we could really get down. I'd like to know the mileage on that before I drop almost $600 on the makeshift scooter there. But I love that
Mileage
it
on the
has a seat.
charge.
I don't like to stand. I want to sit down. I love that it has a seat. I'm all in on the foldable 3-wheel scooter.
Guaranteed to fit in the bed of the Temu trike. Definitely will,
Yeah.
especially
Oh
fold it
yeah.
up. Stick it right in there. Drew, what's your item of choice from the lot today?
I mean, there's no secret here. It's got to
He just
be.
ordered the tent. He just
It's
ordered
already
it.
ordered. Done. I mean, if you look at a comparable size shed that's decent, you're talking 10 grand minimal.
Yeah,
I can buy like
like 20 of
15 of
these.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah. No brainer.
one for every
So
season.
I'm honestly considering this for an outdoor golf simulator.
My problem with that where I live is that it would get blown away in a heartbeat. I saw my
Good point.
neighbor's trampoline get
Like
picked up
rolling
and
down the
blown
street.
over the fence. Yeah,
Yeah.
like just blasted by the
Listen,
wind. So this thing
hold
wouldn't
on.
stand a chance.
It comes with ground nails, ropes, comes with sandbags, repair cloth, the air blower. I mean, I think we're good. Just trying to really anchor that sucker down.
How
I'll
is
let
it?
you
Is
know
it
after
weatherproof?
Yeah.
Keep an eye out. Hambone Johnny live on the streets in the Temu tent.
That's it.
Yeah, that's not gonna. They're not
looking for our
anchoring that
next
baby down
deals.
in the city.
Yeah. Yeah, Kuz, I'm with you, man. Give me the scooter. We can ride around, do high fives,
Mhm.
maybe some tricks. Maybe we'll have a good answer for the next time. How did you hurt yourself? Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do some tricks.
Do some wheelies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pop a couple wheelies.
Check out this sweet hog.
grind. Yeah, check it out, man. Do a
Yeah.
kickflip. Yeah, perfect. So that's it, guys. That's Temu.
Love it.
Good stuff.
That's all the time we have for today, guys. Thank you all for joining in, watching, listening, being part of the process and part of the community. And everyone, you all are amazing. And yeah, this time next week, we'll know about the new Switch. And well, not this time next week. This time next week, it will be 2 days away from learning about the new Switch.
I'm sure we'll have some more leaks by then, so we'll know some more.
Actually,
info.
yeah, if you're listening to this on the podcast, it does come out on Wednesday. So yeah, April 2nd is the direct for the Switch. That'll be awesome. I will be coming in live from the original Nintendo headquarters that night. I'm staying there, so that'll be cool. They've turned it into a hotel, and that's where I'll be that night watching the direct. So that'll be kind of cool. So thank you all for following us on our social medias, on the Apples and the Spotify's. Every little bit helps. Those of you who leave 5 stars, those of you who left a 1 star, I made a video just special for you. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on YouTube. It's just for you, 1 star review leaver. Everybody else, you're pretty cool. For more updates, behind the scenes sneak peeks, make sure to follow us on the said YouTube that I just promoted. Twitch, where you're watching now, possibly, and Instagram at 8bit_clubhouse. And hey, join our Discord. Drew mentioned it earlier. I'm mentioning it now. The Discord's fun. We need more discourse in the Discord. Links to everything can be found in this podcast description. We've had a blast tonight, and we'll continue to have a blast. Thank you all for listening.
See you guys.
Sweet. That was fun. That was a good one. We always find stuff to talk about.